Thomas. A really useful engine. What's your name?
I'm Brewster. I'm here to play with you.
Well, okay. Does the Fat Controller know you're here? Oh, where are you going? Oh, okay. You're coming back? Oh, wait. We can connect. Help! Help!
Come with me, Thomas.
Finally, I'm able to bring to you a detailed review of the Chuggington Wooden Railway. I had lots of mail from YouTubers about this toy, and we'll see now that Thomas can play with Chuggington. I'll also throw in the results of my son choosing between Action Thomas and Thomas Tank, and there's a really special contest to enter, with a very special prize. It's obvious the Chuggington Wooden Railway is aimed directly at its opposition, who have a range of toys which drift dramatically from the actual look of the character. The Thomas franchise also suffers from excessive variants of similar toys. Let's talk price. Both the Thomas Tank and the Chuggington engine cost the same in this wooden range. But Chuggington had an introductory offer, making this toy well worth purchasing, reducing the cost to under $10. Keep the cost of these toys in your mind. At the end of the video, ask yourself which one presents the greater value. Let's have a look at a Chugger versus Thomas. I have chosen Old Puffer Pete as an example of Steam versus Steam. What we will see is that Chuggers have some really good features, not seen in the Thomas line. Most striking is the lavish detail seen splashed out on all the Chuggington wooden models. And when doing a direct comparison to Thomas, you can see clearly the efforts that Chuggington have done to represent their characters faithfully. Now we're looking underneath, and in bold white letters we can see the name of the engine, and notice the very similar wheels on both of these toys. When comparing Coco to Thomas, you can start to see just how much bigger the Chuggers are. Again, look at the detail on Coco versus Thomas. Now let's see Diesel 10 against Coco. Coco's not as long, but still seems larger. Again, look at the detail difference between these two toys. It really looks like Chuggington have a very good toy in their hands here. It's beautifully made. One reason why Chuggers pull great detail is the use of moulded plastic. Here on Brewster we can see the front cab and running plate are plastic, the basic shape of the engine cell and bogie area are wood. And now I'll show you the other Chuggers that I purchased, and not one of these toys disappoints me. These are by far my favourite line of Chuggington Railway. 70% of that reason is due to their simple magnetic coupling. The other 30% is the respect in rendering these toys in a form which conforms to what we see on the television show. Apart from the main characters, there's also a selection of rolling stock and track packs and play sets. What did catch me by surprise was seemingly the lack of Action Chugger, and funnily enough he's one of my favourites. Personally, I feel this will be a very popular toy in the same way the Thomas Wooden range is. The younger fans will really enjoy the way these toys represent their heroes. And let's also remember the Chuggington show is still very young compared to Thomas and Friends. I feel the people who developed Chuggington looked very carefully at the mistakes made by the Thomas Empire, and are carefully avoiding making those same mistakes. When looking at all the variants of Chuggers, we see the wooden series fits squarely in the middle. And most interestingly, look at the detail similarity between the die-cast, the wooden, and the interactive Chugger. Now let's peruse Thomas, and what you'll see is massive variations between the different styles. This is by far one of the big letdowns of the Thomas Empire. Chuggington has its own version of wooden track, and the very good news here is it's completely compatible with the Thomas Wooden Railway track. One detail missing though is the road pattern seen on the Thomas track is devoid on the Chuggington track. As I said before, the magnetic couplings do bond between Chuggers and Thomas, but they are set at slightly different heights. The real letdown for Chuggers fans is the wooden Chuggers can't couple with your other style of Chuggers. I find this change very interesting indeed. Have Chuggers realised that bonding with Thomas is really important? I set up a very tight curve using Chuggington track and have found a major issue. Even when pulling a few trains, I'm having all sorts of fails and bad derailments. This is the only fault I can raise against this train series. It seems the sets of 3 wheels drag too much on the track, causing these derailments. Also, the centre of gravity on these trains is a tad higher than the Thomas models. And sure, I tried a party of Thomas trains. Toby was really playing up, but he did not derail. Maybe the massive wooden railway fans can shed some light on manoeuvring through tight corners in layouts. Even a much longer Thomas train managed this very tight curve, although I feel it was becoming close to derailing. Some may laugh because this is a toy train on a toy track, but some people take this very seriously. Well, that wraps up my look at the Chuggington Wooden Railway. I'm sure this series will create lots of comments in the Thomas community, and those who are already Chuggington fans. It's always healthy to remember that children see these as trains which can potentially play with each other and not different franchises competing in a marketplace worth multi-million dollars. And please don't hesitate to tell me your thoughts on these wooden chuggers. Let's do a little bit of psychology via my Action Thomas versus Thomas train test. Action Thomas is a reskinned Action Chugger. My method of transferring the Thomas mojo was looking at Thomas in a blurred state, then extracting the main colour shapes across to Action Chugger. Action Thomas is one of my all-time favourite Thomases I own, and he's an absolute one-off. Here are a few facts. My son had not seen Action Thomas prior to this day. This was shot 4 weeks after he had the opportunity to choose between 4 Chuggers and 4 Thomas toys. He's now 16 months old. In no way was he prompted in his choices or play. I'll only ever get one opportunity of seeing his reactions to these toys. Like before, I've got the toys covered in a black cloth. It's up to him to uncover them and choose one. The raw footage actually runs out at 7 minutes. I'm going to show an edited version. If enough people ask, I'll put the raw footage up as a separate video. Making this choice was a very emotional time for my son, and you watch what happens. Whatever's going on here is very powerful. After much toing and throwing, he eventually makes a choice, and he picks up Thomas Tank, and he gives it to his mum. And he turns around, and he immediately picks up Action Thomas. Mum resets the scene in a way by putting both toys on the floor, and then we'll see if he'll decide on one to play with. And he tries to couple these two trains together. He's wearing his favourite shoes, which are actually Chuggington shoes. And it's my turn to receive the choices that he made. And first he gives me Thomas Tank, and then he gives me Action Thomas. The idea of looking at the popularity of Thomas came to me via a local G-scale model railway owner. He detailed to me how his garden railway became far more popular once he added Thomas and Percy to his rolling stock. He said even very young children would be transfixed for hours watching these popular characters, and believes much of their appeal is related to the bright contrasting colours used on the engines. He's familiar with the sound button on the interactive chuggers, but he never went searching for it on Action Thomas. What became very apparent, he gave both toys equal time. Whatever he did with Thomas Tank, he would then mimic that with the other toy, or vice versa. The choices that I witnessed tells me he respects both of these trains as being exactly equal. Many people pinpointed the fact that Thomas is a classic shape, but Action Thomas has a modern shape. Possibly his choices have nothing to do with the actual design of the engines. Let's have a special contest. Please send a video response to this video, a short video detailing what happened to Thomas Tank after he was taken away by Brewster. If you don't have a Brewster toy or can't find any chuggers, just paint up an old toy and make it look like him, remembering he's got a yellow nose and blue body. The key to winning is to produce an interesting story where both characters are represented, remembering Brewster is taking Thomas somewhere, so show me what happens next. All styles of visual media that you created will be accepted in the competition, but please do not upload any footage of the Thomas show or Chuggington show. So what's up for grabs? This contest has only one prize. It's the 65th anniversary gift pack Thomas Wooden Railway. A stunning set any discerning Thomas fan would cherish. This set comes with 4 core characters dressed in celebration fanfare. There's also a musical carriage and collector's box. But wait, let's make this a really special contest. My one-off custom Action Thomas will also be part of the prize. I will supply detailed authenticity documents with this model, making it a very rare collectible. If you're to enter the contest, I wish you good luck and thanks for watching the video.